All right, so today we're going to take a deep dive into a really an interesting situation, I think.
Yeah.
We're looking at why this billionaire investor is selling off a big chunk of one AI company
Right.
while buying into another. And what's so interesting about this is that both these companies are considered leaders.
Yeah.
So it's like, where is he seeing, what's he seeing that we're not? We're talking Ken Griffin,
Right.
the guy behind Citadel, and his kind of moves with Palantir and Alphabet.
Yeah, it's fascinating. He's really making strategic choices
Yeah.
based on where he sees value long term.
It's like he's trying to tell us something about the future of AI without actually saying it. So our main source here is this article from the Motley Fool, which,
Great source.
pretty reputable financial services company.
Absolutely.
Published pretty recently, November 17th, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Palantir Stock versus Alphabet Stock. Billionaire Ken Griffin sells one and buys the other.
So during the third quarter of 2024, Griffin actually sold 91% of his Palantir stock, which is a huge amount. We're talking 5.1 million shares.
Wow.
But at the same time, he increased his Alphabet stake by 20%.
Okay.
So he bought an additional 244,835 shares of Alphabet.
So two AI giants, both recognized by Forrester Research, they're like the experts
Oh, yeah, the big guys.
when it comes to this stuff.
Absolutely.
And he's playing favorites.
Yeah.
What's the secret sauce? What's going on?
Well, to understand that, we really have to break down what each of these companies does.
Okay.
Let's start with Palantir. The company Griffin seems to be less enthusiastic about.
Right.
Palantir is all about data analytics,
Okay.
and their artificial intelligence platform, AIP, is really their key offering.
Okay.
Now, their secret weapon is this thing called an ontology-based architecture.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking, ontology.
Yeah.
Sounds like a philosophy class.
Yeah, exactly. But it's really the key to Palantir's unique approach.
Okay.
Most software sees data as just that, just data. Numbers, figures, that's it. But Palantir's software is designed to understand how that data connects to real-world things and relationships.
Okay.
So think about the difference between, say, having a list of ingredients
Okay.
and actually understanding the recipe.
Got it.
Palantir gives you that deeper understanding.
Interesting.
Turns that raw data into something you could actually use.
Actionable. Yeah.
Actionable intelligence, exactly.
So that translates to real world results.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
They're seeing crazy growth with their customers.
Oh, yeah. Their customer count is up by 39%
Huge.
to 629.
Wow.
And the amount each customer is spending is up 18%.
So it's not just growth, it's like explosive growth.
It's a stampede towards Palantir right now.
Wow.
And their financials are looking really good, too.
Okay.
Their revenue jumped 30% to $726 million.
Okay.
That's their fifth consecutive quarter of accelerated growth.
Wow.
And then their non-GAAP earnings.
Which is like their profit, right?
Yeah, their adjusted profit jumped by 43% to 10 cents per share.
So by any measure, Palantir is doing fantastic.
Crushing it.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
So if they're doing so well, why is Griffin hitting the eject button?
Right. That's the big question.
What's going on?
Well, this is where valuation comes in.
Okay.
We have this analyst, Malik Ahmed Khan from Morningstar.
Okay.
He said that Palantir's fundamentals, meaning the core business, is amazing, but the stock price just doesn't add up.
So it's like the business is a rock star, but the stock price is, I don't know, partying a little too hard.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So Palantir is currently trading at 188 times its adjusted earnings.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot, right?
Yeah,
Analysts are predicting 31% earnings growth, which is fantastic.
that's great.
But it doesn't justify that price tag.
Yeah.
Think about it this way, like paying $1,000 for a coffee.
Yeah.
It might be the best coffee in the world,
Sure.
but is it really worth that much?
No.
Probably not.
So that makes Griffin's move make a little more sense.
Right.
Is he worried that Palantir's stock is headed for a reality check?
It's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
Smart investors like Griffin, they aren't chasing quick wins.
Right.
They're playing chess, not checkers.
They're looking for that long game.
Exactly. Sustainable growth.
Yeah.
When a stock price is that inflated, it's a red flag.
Okay, so we got Palantir, the high flyer, maybe a little bit inflated price tag.
Potentially, yeah.
Let's turn our attention to Alphabet,
Okay.
the behemoth
The giant.
that Griffin seems to be putting his chips on.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't just any company. This is Google's parent company.
It's massive.
They own the biggest digital ad platform.
Right.
And the third largest public cloud.
Two of the fastest growing sectors in tech right now.
Really?
Yeah, so digital ad spending is projected to grow by 10% annually.
Wow.
Through 2028. And cloud services are going to grow even faster at 19%.
That's insane.
That's a runway most companies would kill for.
Talk about a powerful combination.
Yeah.
But here's a question that keeps popping up for me.
What's that?
Can Alphabet maintain their grip on the search market as AI gets smarter?
Right.
I mean, Google is basically synonymous with searching for anything online.
It is, yeah.
Could AI shake that up?
It's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
But Alphabet is not just sitting around waiting for that to happen.
Right.
They're using their really deep AI expertise.
I mean, they've been doing it for a long time.
Decades.
Decades.
So
they're like the chess grandmaster.
Exactly.
Anticipating their opponent's moves.
Adapting their strategy.
So how are they using AI to keep their crown?
Well, they're integrating what's called generative AI into Google search. You know, that tech that can, like, create content, answer your questions conversationally, make search it less about keywords and more about understanding.
Yeah.
Especially for younger users, this is a game changer.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then they have their AI tools for ad creation and targeting.
Right.
To keep that revenue stream flowing strong.
So they're not just riding the wave, they're kind of shaping it.
Exactly. They're at the forefront of it.
And on top of that, I mean, they're doing really well in the cloud computing space, right?
Wow, they're a force to be reckoned with.
They even gained market share while Amazon and Microsoft
struggled a little bit, yeah.
That tells you they're not just surviving.
They're thriving.
They're thriving in this cutthroat world. Let's talk numbers. How did Alphabet actually perform in Q3?
They exceeded expectations on both revenue and earnings.
Really?
Yeah, their revenue was up 15%.
Wow.
To $88 billion.
That's a lot of billions.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Their GAAP earnings, which is their, like, official profit, rose 37% to $2.12 per share.
Okay.
And all this was fueled by a 4 percentage point increase in operating margin.
So they're not just growing.
They're growing efficiently.
All right. Now for the big reveal.
Okay.
How does Alphabet's valuation compare to Palantir's?
Right.
Remember, we were at, what, 188 times earnings for Palantir?
Astronaut.
What's the story with Alphabet?
Get ready for a stark contrast.
Oh, boy.
Alphabet is currently trading at 24 times its earnings.
Okay.
With an expected earnings growth of 20%.
So compared to Palantir, Alphabet's looking pretty reasonable.
Yeah, very reasonable.
So Griffin is essentially saying, I'd rather buy a solid house with a good foundation than a flashy penthouse built on, I don't know, shaky ground.
Exactly. He's looking at the long game here.
Yeah.
And Alphabet's position in these rapidly growing sectors gives them a real edge.
Slow and steady wins the race.
It's a classic example of that.
All right, so Alphabet, this massive company, huge reach, combined with their AI expertise, they're a real player in this space.
Formidable player.
Formidable, that's the word I was looking for.
There you go. And it's not just about the numbers, right?
Yeah.
It's about their scale and how diverse they are.
Right.
They're not a one-trick pony. Like some AI companies, they're like, I don't know, a tech octopus.
Okay, I like.
With tentacles and everything.
Reaching everywhere.
From search, advertising, cloud computing, hardware, software, you name it.
It's like they've built this massive AI engine.
Yeah.
And they can plug it in wherever they want.
Exactly. And they're constantly feeding that engine, right?
Yeah.
More data, better algorithms, top talent, the whole thing.
So they're not resting on their laurels.
Not at all. They're shaping the future.
Which brings us back to Ken Griffin. Selling Palantir, buying Alphabet. It's almost like a message. Right. Palantir, good, but Alphabet, that's the future.
A bold statement, for sure. But when you look at the data, his logic's pretty clear.
Alphabet's a juggernaut, and it seems like they're only getting stronger.
All getting stronger, yeah.
So we've broken down Griffin's moves, analyzed these companies, talked about valuation and growth.
Right.
But what does it all mean for the everyday investor?
That is the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Now remember, we're not giving financial advice here.
No, definitely not.
We just want to equip you with the knowledge to make your own decisions.
We're just shining a light on what these big investors are doing.
Exactly, the smart money.
And why?
And this deep dive really shows that the AI landscape is always changing.
Yeah.
There are companies doing incredible things.
Yeah, but it's not always reflected in the stock price.
It's tricky, right?
It's like navigating a jungle.
Oh, yeah.
There's treasure out there, but you got to have a good map and a sharp machete.
You got to know where you're going.
And that's where research comes in, right?
Absolutely.
You got to understand the companies, the technology, the market.
The big picture.
Don't just chase the shiny object.
Right. Chase the real value.
Yeah.
And that's why resources like the Motley are so useful. You know, they're analysts. They break down these companies. They help investors make sense of everything.
Their article on Palantir and Alphabet, it's a great example of that kind of in-depth analysis.
For sure.
So let's recap.
Okay.
We've learned a lot about Palantir, Alphabet, Ken Griffin, the crazy world of AI investing.
It is a little crazy.
What's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
The key takeaway here is that the AI revolution is real.
It's happening.
It's happening, and it's going to change every industry we know.
Wow.
The question is, which companies will win?
That's the big question.
And which will be left behind?
Billion-dollar question right there.
And unfortunately, there's no crystal ball.
Oh, right.
But by following the moves of people like Ken Griffin and doing your own research, you can increase your chances of picking the right horse in the race.
It's about playing smart.
Exactly.
Well said. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question here.
All right, hit me.
We talked about Alphabet's strengths, their resources, their position.
Right.
But what if their current stock price is actually underselling their potential?
Oh, interesting.
Like, what if even with their performance and bright future, they might still be undervalued?
You're saying that they could even be bigger, more dominant than we can imagine.
The stock market's all about anticipating the future, right?
It is. It's about prediction.
What's going to happen?
What's coming next?
What if investors are still underestimating the AI revolution and Alphabet's ability to capitalize on it?
You're thinking their stock price might just be the tip of the iceberg.
Could be.
It's hard to imagine a company that big getting even bigger.
Well, think about it. $1 trillion market cap.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But hey, stranger things have happened, especially in tech.
Tech is crazy.
It moves so fast.
Remember a decade ago, who would have thought that smartphones would become our everything devices?
It's true.
Yeah.
So we're not making any predictions, but we're just saying that Alphabet's future looks really bright.
Yeah.
And for those who are willing to play that long game, their current stock price might be an attractive entry point.
Food for thought.
Definitely.
This is why we love these deep dives.
Me too.
It's not about skimming the surface. It's about going deep.
Peeling back the layers.
Uncovering those hidden trends.
It's exactly this deep dive into Ken Griffin's moves.
Yeah.
It's given us a glimpse into this high-stakes world of AI investing.
Billions of dollars flowing into these companies.
It's insane.
Promising to change everything.
From healthcare to transportation.
And it's a world where the winners, they could win big.
Huge rewards.
While the losers, they just fade away.
It's like the gold rush of the 21st century.
Oh, I like that.
Everyone's trying to get their piece of the pie.
But only a few will actually strike it rich.
Exactly. And the key is not just finding the shiniest nugget.
Right.
It's about understanding the whole landscape. You know, the geology, the market forces.
It's about developing that deep understanding of the companies.
The people. Separating the hype from reality.
And making informed decisions.
Based on data and analysis.
That's what we try to do here.
We try our best.
With this deep dive.
Yeah.
We're taking this complex topic.
Billionaires betting on AI.
Yeah.
Breaking it down.
Highlighting those key takeaways.
The thought-provoking questions.
We've explored these two AI leaders, Palantir and Alphabet.
Yeah, contrast in fortunes.
One with great performance, but maybe a high stock price.
Yeah.
The other with this dominant market position.
Seemingly limitless potential.
We dove into Ken Griffin's moves.
Selling Palantir, buying Alphabet.
What it might reveal about his vision for the future.
It's fascinating.
And we've left you with this final question.
Okay.
What if Alphabet's current price is actually underestimating their true potential?
What if they're about to explode even more?
Right, there you have it.
A deep dive into the world of billionaire bets and AI leaders.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey.
I know I have.
And we encourage you to keep exploring this crazy world.
Absolutely. It's moving fast.
The future of AI is still being written.
It is.
And it's up to all of us to stay informed.
Engaged.
And ready to seize the opportunities
that are coming our way.
And you know what's so cool about all this is we're not just looking at one guy's moves, right? It's like we're using that as a way to see the bigger picture.
I agree.
Where AI is heading.
Yeah.
So we started with Griffin, but now we've kind of got this like roadmap for thinking about AI investing in general.
You got it.
So if we want to zoom out, connect back to, you, the listener, the big thing here is that AI, investing in AI, it's not about picking the hottest stock today.
Yeah.
It's about understanding which companies are really building the foundation.
The long game.
Yeah. The technologies that are going to be around for a while.
Exactly.
That are going to shape tomorrow.
It's like, yeah, that trendy new app might be cool.
It's fun.
But will it last?
Will it be here in 5 years?
Exactly.
Is it really going to change an industry?
That's what we got to be asking ourselves.
And that's where Palantir and Alphabet, that contrast, really shows us something, right?
It does.
Palantir, they're great at what they do.
Yeah. Very focused.
But they're kind of narrow.
Right.
Alphabet's like this giant AI ecosystem.
Yeah, always evolving.
They're not just solving one little problem.
Right.
They're building the platform.
The infrastructure.
For an AI-powered future.
Exactly.
So if we think about other AI companies, what should we look for?
Well, I would say look for companies that are solving those big problems.
Yeah.
The really foundational problems.
Not just little tweaks.
Yeah, not just making things a little bit better.
But things that could completely change an industry.
Like healthcare, transportation.
Education.
Huge industries ripe for disruption.
And don't forget about the data.
Oh, yeah. Data is everything for AI.
AI is only as good as the data it learns from, right?
Right.
So companies with tons of data,
good data,
they have a real advantage.
Look at Alphabet. They've been collecting data for decades.
Decades. It's crazy.
And they know how to use it.
But data's not everything.
True.
You also need companies that are, really investing in the research.
Pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, pushing the boundaries. What can AI do? And then, don't forget about the talent.
Oh, the people.
The people.
That's key.
The best companies attract the best minds.
Right. The engineers, the scientists.
The researchers.
It's like building the Avengers of AI.
I love it.
You need that diverse team, all the different skills.
Okay, so let's wrap this up.
Right.
We started with this billionaire's bets.
Yeah.
And now we've got this whole framework for understanding AI.
We've come a long way.
So AI invested, it's not about the hype.
No.
It's about identifying those companies that are really building something special.
It's about that long-term vision.
Yeah, long-term value. AI, it's more than a buzzword.
Oh, yeah.
It's a force.
A transformative force.
Yeah, going to reshape everything.
In ways we can't even imagine yet.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
So this is your chance to be a part of it.
Yeah, be a part of the AI revolution.
Shape the future.
And potentially benefit from it.
Yeah. So that's our deep dive.
Into billionaire bets and AI leaders.
We hope you enjoyed it.
We had a lot of fun.
Go out there, do your research.
Make informed decisions.
Be a part of this incredible future.
The future is now